Hello, I'm Janelle Shala, and this is my 5th introductory video on crystal healing. We're going to talk a little bit about using your intuition this time. Why would you want to use your intuition rather than looking in a book? Very good reasons. We have a lot of old traditions with the way we use crystals, but there have been a lot of new crystals that have come up, things that have been recently discovered. And as we're discovering them, different crystal healers are putting their own take on what these crystals do. It doesn't mean that any of them are wrong, but you'll find very often when you buy different crystal healing books, they'll say completely different things with different minerals. Another thing is I don't believe that every single crystal, say a rose quartz for example, is going to feel exactly the same way as every other rose quartz. You get variations in them depending on where they've been mined, how they've been handled in between. Things like the shape can make a huge difference with them. So all of this comes into how we work with the crystals and how they feel. This exercise I'm going to give you is just a little practice on using your own intuition. I don't expect you to do it during the course of the video because the video is too short. You need to take much more time over it. First, I'd like you to view the previous video, number 4, on breathing and centering yourself, because you need to start from a centered place before you begin. I've prepared a bowl of crystals, number of different crystals here. I have about 14 different choices. You can also put them in a pouch like this, a lot of Tumblestones. These are the ones I use with my students primarily. The main point is that I want you to use your intuition with this completely. Start with a notebook and pad next to you so you can write things down without actually trying to remember them. Things come up that you won't expect sometimes, or you may question it, or you may feel differently when you look at the crystal. So after centering yourself, taking your breathing into a slow place and centering yourself, I'd like you to use your left hand and with your eyes closed, take a crystal from the bowl. So you're doing this entirely intuitively. Take the crystal and hold it in the left hand. Again, eyes shut, don't look at it. You will have to open your eyes from time to time, but you can look at the pad, you can look at the paper, you don't need to worry about looking at the crystal. Hold it in any way you'd like to, between the two fingers, both hands. You can hold it in one hand. You can move it around your body and see if you feel anything different, depending on where you're holding it. Now the things you may pick up, they may be as simple as this crystal feels rough or it feels smooth. It feels cool to the touch, it feels warm. I feel a tingling sensation in my hand. Then you may get other things that are far more complicated. You may start getting other senses coming in, like you may smell something you didn't smell before you picked it up. You may feel that there's a change in the room. You may feel that you may start hearing something that you didn't hear. You may see something, get visions. You may get colors. All sorts of different things can come into it. Don't be afraid to write them down. Don't worry about them. Don't dismiss them. They may be coincidental, but they may not. After you've written them all down, when you feel that the crystal's given you every piece of information you can possibly get, open your hand, open your eyes, and have a look at what crystal you've got. Then write down how you feel about the crystal once you've seen it. That can change entirely. Sometimes people will see a color and assume it's the color of the crystal, and it won't be. Sometimes people will have a certain attitude toward the crystal. They open their eyes, the attitude changes. So don't worry. The point is to see what you've written down before you've looked at the crystal and see how you've reacted once you've seen the crystal. That will give you a huge insight into how your intuition is working and how the crystal is working. The more you practice it, the better you get, and you can also use it in other ways. So not just sensing the crystal and feeling what the crystal might have to tell you. You can also work with it by, for example, asking a question, asking for advice. How do I move forward in my life? What is the next thing? What is the next stage I need to see? Don't ask your guides or the universe or the source, wherever you're asking this question of, don't ask it or them for what you think you need. Don't say, I need love. Don't say, I need a rose quartz, which is what I happen to have picked up. Say what do I need? Give me a message, and then see what the crystal has to tell you. You can also give yourself readings in this way, so you can choose more than one crystal meaning different things, past, present, and future, for example. I hope this helps you to grow your intuition.